Yes, sir.
I guess I'll take a privilege of asking a question myself. So
Yes, sir.
you say this applies to everybody, right?
Yes, sir.
So if my secretary decided to come in tomorrow with a pink spike do into the office and, wearing a shirt that says F you and, really, which I know my secretary would never do that, but if she did, could I say, you need to this is not the image I want to present for my business. You need to come in with, a more traditional look and a professional look, just similar to the dress code that we adopted on the Senate floor.
So the shirt, this bill doesn't speak to in your fact pattern there. So I can't speak to the shirt. But as the employer, I assume you might be able to impose a dress code for your office. But again, that's not related to this bill. The hairstyle, if she were to come in with a hairstyle that was her natural hair, I'm not sure if the pink would qualify here or like a mohawk or something, if that's what she wanted to have, that sort of hairdo. But this protects hair, including protective hairstyles, and looking at the language, protective hairstyles includes, and these are just examples, it's not limited to this, braids, locks, and twists, but that they are historically associated with race, including but not limited to hair texture and protective hairstyles like locks and twists and braids. So if she could make the case that was historically associated with her race, then I'd say she would be protected, and you'd have to offer her some sort of reasonable accommodation. Outside of that, I think you could probably impose standards.
Okay. I mean, I guess she had Irish heritage, and if you ever watched the movie Druids, there's some pretty wild dudes, so she could come in there and argue something like that.
Oh, snap, Senator Wheeler. That classic 2001 Christopher Lambert film, Druids. Not that. Wow. Now, to be fair, I've not seen it. Maybe Senator Brill Cream is onto something. So let's take a look at that trailer for the film and see what he's talking about.
Dad, what's going on?
Well, I have long feared this day would come. I was hoping to protect you from this hobby.
Protect me?
I'm sorry, that's from Trolls. He did say Druids. Hang on. Just a second.
You want to fight? You want to live forever? Then I will lead you.
We have made an enemy, and it would have been much better to have him as a friend.
Well, I've got to admit, that is about as compelling a piece of evidence as I've seen coming out of Frankfort Republicans. But anyway, back to the testimony.
Well, she can't. Would be in regards to instances. If you have a rule in your office that we have to look professional, and this rule applies to everyone, and it's not being used as a proxy for just black people, then absolutely not. Like, you can have rules that we have to be professional. And of course, they could file the complaint to the commission, and then they would determine from there, is this discriminate, or is
the applied rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the Wheeler Law Office being discriminatory?
Sure. I mean, but I guess if you had an African-American working there, that would probably imply that you didn't have a problem with African-Americans working there just by the fact that they're present, would it not? I mean, just, all right, I guess.
So let's recap. We have a bill that has been brought forth by students from Louisville's big cities. Most of the students I know came from Louisville, where our population is 67% white, 23.8% black, according to the U.S. Census. And we have a senator from Pikeville, population 93% white, who is dismissing this as all just some sort of ridiculousness, because if you hire a black person, clearly that means you don't want to discriminate against them, which isn't the point of this bill, and isn't the scenarios that are necessarily in play everywhere. that this bill would impact. So I don't even know what to say. I truly am tired of seeing these senators out in the state who I don't think represent the people of Kentucky. Some, yes, but not everyone. Just dismissing the needs, wants, and concerns of marginalized populations out of hand because it doesn't match their own personal experience. I don't know Senator Wheeler, but I think it's kind of despicable for him to just roll his eyes and shrug his shoulders and say, well, where's the problem here, when he has no experience with it personally, and he lives in a community where probably his constituents who are in the minority populations are afraid to even ask him to do anything about this. And the fact that this bill continues to die says something about the fact that none of these people in the majority party want to even see this go to a vote. They do not want to commit to voting for or against it. If they vote for it, then it's going to alienate some people in their base. If they vote against it, then you could credibly claim that they don't care about racial issues. So if they don't put it to the vote, nobody has to deal with it. And I think that's cowardly. And I don't know what to say, but it's very sad. And I don't know how we change things, but we do need to change them.